So this is the perfect time to check out your favorite drivers, get cool in-car vantage points. You can check out all the action, see what your favorites are doing. Tony Stewart doing some interesting strategy, Larry Mack. What do you think?
I think he has figured out he's not going to beat those guys at the front of the pack by outrunning them, so maybe he can out-fuel mileage them a little bit. He came to pit road at lap 160 with 40 laps to go. What he's doing, Lindsay, here under caution, he's shutting the engine off. And when the engine's off, it's not using any fuel. But if you think back to his win a year ago, he pitted on lap 159 with 41 to go. We were under caution.
Yep.
We went back racing at 165 for 35 green flag laps. I know that Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, those guys that pitted at 155, they cannot make it. Looks like to me Tony Stewart, Darian Grubb, as they did a year ago, might be trying to pull it off. Stewart is trying to stretch, and as we saw a year ago, that was his first race of the season. It only went up from there. Marty, we're going to come to you because you got an update on Jeff Gordon in the 24.
Well, and he's trying to pull the same strategy, Lindsay. And actually, Steve Letarte just told Jeff Gordon on the radio, this is exactly when Tony Stewart pitted last year, so we can make it from here. We're going to be close. 2 laps short right now for the 24 car.
Hey, Marty.
Yes.
Why wouldn't they have come in just then and just topped it off again?
And Steve Letarte did think about that, Wally. He said that would put them behind too many of the cars that they came in, and they thought that would put them too far back once they went back to racing. Okay. So they would be behind all those cars that just got the wave around.
Phil?
That's exactly right. I was talking to Travis Geisler, Stan Hornish Jr.'s crew chief. I said, will you guys come back in and top off? They stopped on lap number 160. He said, no, because that puts us behind all the waiver runs, all the lap cars. If you don't pit when you're supposed to pit, if you pit after that, then you have to start behind all those cars. We don't want to get behind them. We need some caution laps to make it, but we think we have a shot at it.
Matt?
And a lot of pit strategy working up and down pit road for Harvick, the 29, Boyer, the 33, the 2 RCR teammates. Their window would open at lap 164 to 165, but that would put them in danger if we got a green-white checkered finish. Clint Boyer's crew chief Shane Wilson says if you see any of the leaders peel off, you come to for fuel only. They're up on the wall waiting, Ralph.
Matt Kenseth just said to crew chief Todd Parrott, we're not going to win this thing the normal way. Let's come in with 1 to go and get the fuel. And Todd liked the idea, called him down pit road. Here he comes in, car number 17. He's 3rd in points, making a run out of his best finish, a 3rd, seeing if he can improve. Here they come with the 17. They're going to top this thing off, get as much in there as they can, and send him on his way.
And the 24 is gonna, he saw all those guys peel off and figured, well, I got nothing to lose, so this is a good move, I think, on their part.
Another team that just came down pit road is the 82 car, Scott Speed. We have not spoken about him, but he has stayed in the top 20. They had that crew chief shift. They had a lot of stuff that went on over there between Brian's team, now Casey driving there, the crew chief shift and stuff. And this could be a big race for them. If the fuel mileage thing plays out, this could be something where that team salvages something today, because I think they've run a good race.
Much needed shot in the arm for them. Larry?
I tell you a guy that I like what Brian Patty did with Juan Pablo Montoya riding with him here, is he came in on lap 163 with 37 laps to go, and when I look, now he's in the 22nd position, but when I look at the top 22, the first car that catches my eye that they can make it is this 42 car right here.
You see what he's doing? He's driving along, now put his left foot in and clutch it, and he'll coast, trying to save fuel. See?
Yeah.
And he was running back in the 27th position. All of the other drivers came down, and it paid off for Montoya, Phil.
Remember when these guys were looking at maybe making one more pit stop, that was the only team on my end of pit road that thought they may be able to make it. And they were going to have to run 36 laps twice because they last pitted with 72 laps to go. So I have a good feeling that the 42 car may be able to make it all the way.
A number of cars up front. No, they will have to come down pit road one more time. The front row as we go green, Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin. Green flag waving at lap 165. 35 to go at Pocono. Busch in the outside lane gets the jump.
Wow. Dives to the bottom, too.
The jump and the block.
Harvick to the outside of Hamlin.
Gets a little high. That's going to cost him. Got up in those marbles a little bit.
Wow. And Hamlin just made a power move off the bottom of the racetrack right back up to take the lead.
Denny Hamlin, the new race leader, got around Kyle Busch, who had grabbed it at the restart. Harvick to the inside of Johnson for third. There are 2 rows of 2 behind him.
Allmendinger, 5th spot, sitting right there. Got Logano sticking his nose down there on the bottom.
For a driver that doesn't like this racetrack and struggled in practice,
he'll like it a lot more, I bet you, if he has a top 5 run out of it.
And now's the time to use that bottom, when you can get to the bottom and go back to the gas. Obviously, that's always been the fastest way around here until the grip moves to the top. But that's a strong move on the bottom.
Hamlin is checked out. And we got trouble. Jamie McMurray into the wall.
Wow.
McMurray was running inside the top 15.
Okay.
Turn that thing into a pinot.
Okay, Jamie? And now what this does is all those guys that pitted took themselves out of the race.
Yep.
Because they don't have time. It's not a fuel mileage race now, and they gave up all their track position.
Yep. Casey Mears gets the free pass. McMurray, who had finished second 3 times in the last 5 races, not so fortunate today.
Wow, it looks like Reagan slid up the racetrack right into Jamie. Looks like the 6 car of Reagan either got a big push or something, but he shot up the racetrack.
Riding on board with Tony Stewart, here's the accident.
Man, he really slid up the racetrack, and even after he made contact, he kept sliding up the racetrack.
The bumper cam of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
That was big.
Wow. He slides up. He goes almost all the way to the wall after he hits him.
It's not like he just slid up and hit him. He slid up and he kept sliding after he made contact.
Almost pinned the 2 car to the outside. Kurt did a good job of avoiding that.
We talk about the momentum McMurray had in recent weeks, those 3 runner-up finishes. He had gotten himself back in position to make a run at the chase. 15th in points, and this is going to hurt. And Larry, this opens up the door now for some drivers who are running up front to come down pit road and be right where they need to be, I would guess.
Well, exactly, Adam. And I know what Kyle just said. Those guys that came to pit road and topped off may have took themselves out of the race. But now, when you look at all of our leaders, we are within the window of pitting here and making it to the end. So honestly, if these guys come, those guys that topped off this last caution, they may actually gain some spots here.
Excellent point, Larry. That's why I was a driver and you're a crew chief. I'm an idiot and you're not.
I'll be shocked if these guys up here don't take advantage of topping these cars off right now.
And you're exactly right. You know, I think if you look at it that way, these guys, and it'll just cycle back and they'll have their position. But it's just going to, for the total race, it took fuel mileage straight out of it. It's just going to come back to the fastest car now.
You never admitted that when you were wearing a helmet. You know that?
I talked to myself inside the helmet, not y'all.
I bet you did. Lap 168 is when these pit stops will happen with 32 laps to go, and pit road is open this time. Here they come, Ralph.
Jimmy Johnson was not going to make it, so said Chad Canals. We had to come in and pit. Here they come. They're going to fill this thing up with fuel. No tires, no adjustments, just fuel, Matt.
And Gil Martin told Harvick, when you hear them pounding on the deck lid, go, 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 just fuel only for Harvick. Meanwhile, right side tires for his teammate, the 33, Marty.
Denny Hamlin made the call, fuel only. He said, I'm going to work the traffic. I'm fine with that. His teammate Kyle Busch all the way at the end of the pit road. Dave Rogers told him, we have too good of a car to gamble with it right now. We have to stop right now. All these guys pretty much fuel only.
There were some tires, but for the most part, as Marty pointed out, fuel only. Kyle Busch, again the quickest off pit road, just edging his teammate Denny Hamlin. Joe Gibbs Racing leading the parade. A number of drivers stayed out. We set the field in a moment. It's been an eventful day at the Pocono Raceway. Welcome back as we enter the closing laps of this afternoon's 500-miler here with Kyle Petty and Wally Dallenbach. I'm Adam Alexander. So much talk late in the race has been about strategy, gentlemen, and the field has
we always do this, though.
Completely shaken up.
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch restarting 14th on back. That's impressive.
The whole strategy has changed in the last 50 laps. With 50 laps to go, just became another race. Once it was a fuel mileage